การประเภทนี้เป็นรายการทั่วไปสามารถรับชมได้ทุกวัย
พบกับงานสัมมนาดีๆที่น่าติดตามกับ Business Forum อีกครั้งหนึ่งครับวันนี้เป็นวงเสวนาที่พูดคุยกันระดมความคิดเพื่อทำให้สังคมนี้โลกใบนี้ดียิ่งขึ้นแต่การที่จะทำดีก็มีความท้าทายเช่นเดียวกันครับหัวข้อวันนี้ที่จุฬาลงกรณ์มหาวิทยาลัยจัดก็คือ Sustainable Development Challenges in Asia ล้อมวงคุยกันครับทั้งส่วนของนักวิชาการผู้ที่ทำ Social Enterpriseมุมมองในประเทศไทยกับมุมมองต่างชาติทำเรื่องนี้ทำเพื่อสังคมแตกต่างกันยังไงติดตามชมครับ
We need to use oil, we need to use water, energy, different materials to have our economy running. And for many years, I have the feeling that we gave so much focus on just the economic output of the economic development that we forgot a little bit the input. So I wanted to share some numbers with you. There are many studies that they have been done recently, the last 3 or 4 years, that they try to explain and try to give some figures on what we call the resource efficiency of the economy. In very simple words, how many natural resources we need to produce, for example, 1 unit of GDP, $1 of GDP. How much material we need, how much energy, how much water. And today, fortunately, we do have a lot of good information to study this efficiency, this resource efficiency of the economy for at least the last 40 years. The figures are really staggering. We have, first, what we observe, it's a huge variation between countries. And if there's a kind of rule of thumb here, what we know is that industrialized countries, they are able to produce more with the same amount of resources. And I don't want and I don't like to compare countries, and I'm not going to do this in terms of comparison, but I want to give you 3 figures that they are coming from our region. It has been estimated that to produce $1 of GDP, Japan needs approximately half a kilo of resources. And when we say half a kilo of resources, we include materials, we include biomass. It's an aggregation of natural resources. The similar figure for Vietnam, a country just next, is 9 kilos. So from 0.5, from half a kilo in Japan to 9 kilos in Vietnam, 18 times more. And Vietnam is not the less resource efficient economy. There are economies that they need 25 or 27 kilos to produce of natural resources to produce 1 unit of GDP. So we have seen, and let me go to my notes so I'm saying something that it's correct here, that these regional differences, they are between 67 times between the most efficient and the less efficient country. So there are 2 things to consider here. One is that the countries in this region have many things to learn among themselves. They have many things to learn on how they can do better use of natural resources, how they can use more efficient specific technologies. And the second is that there's a huge range for improvement. So even if we use existing technologies without the need to invent new technologies, and we direct investments in these new technologies for resource efficiency, for cleaner production, for sustainable development, we can have tremendous gains. And the good thing is that these gains will start fueling another part of the economy. They will start fueling a social part of the economy where we will be able to provide more basic services to the citizens, and they will also fueling more employment because new businesses will happen. Talking about natural resources, let me also say that on top of the challenge of the non-efficient use of natural resources, we have two other challenges. The one is that many natural resources are depleted. We explore them and we use them in a rate that it's much bigger than the rate that Mother Nature can bring them back to a stock, to an acceptable, sustainable stock. Deforestation is a very big example here. Deforestation is intensifying in most of the countries in Asia Pacific, and in general, the region has not made progress in preventing further deforestation. Sometimes we listen that we cannot achieve everything and we need to pay some price for the development. I very humbly believe that this is not the right approach, because if we think that the benefits of the development process are having to do with employment, having to do with well-being, we need to make sure that these benefits are lasting in the long term. And what's happening many times is that we do have some economic progress, and it will give some benefits only for the short term, and then we will start to lose them. The third problem with natural resources is the projected huge increase use and increased stock that we will need for the decades to come. Only in Asia and the Pacific, we estimate that about almost 1 billion more middle-class consumers will be added in the next 30 years. So, let me repeat. Today we have in most of the countries in Asia Pacific what we call an extreme rich class, the middle class, and then the poor. The middle class is the one that is driving consumption because of the numbers. So imagine that in the middle class you have today in Asia Pacific, you add 1 more billion for the next 30 years to come. If this billion will consume the way that the middle class is consuming today, it means that we will run out of natural resources. So we need to start an effort that we call decoupling. And decoupling is how we will disconnect the growth of the economy from the use of natural resources and from the impact on the environment. By achieving decoupling, we will be able to produce financial resources and economic growth, and at the same time being able to reduce the environmental impact and improve the well-being of the people.
People are the key to sustainable development. Therefore, empowerment and ensuring that they are resilient and capable of carrying on the development is vital, and it takes time. We learned from His Majesty King and adopted his people-centric approach into what we call the 3 S's model. And we created this long before Steve Jobs. But Steve Jobs got rich, but we are not. We divided development into 3 phases: survival, sufficiency, and sustainability. What do you mean by the first S, survival? You people in this room don't understand it. Because the people that I work with, they don't even know where they're going to get the next meal. You see, we're in so different world. But I have to express this sort of things to you so that you really realize that how unfortunate you are sitting in this room and have all this job and have all this opportunity. So the first S is so important. You have to make the people, the mouth and stomach to fulfill this first. Before you can talk about anything else, maybe the banking, all right, or maybe about religion. One has to be able to live, to survive. That's the most important thing. Law, orders, forget about it. It doesn't serve the point. So that is the first thing. Since most of the people are farmers, majority of the people, we usually start with the irrigation and soil improvement. the productivities and the quality of crops is going to be better and better. When we started at Doi Tung, opium farmers were hired as forestry workers. They were paid with cash daily. I do have to pay it daily, just like you. Why? They believe when they receive the money. The talking alone and monthly, forget it. Daily. And I like your expression very much. The first day, what you do is pay them. And that it will be forever, reminding them all the time. We also here pay them daily, 3 times, and what they got is 3 times more than what they earn from opium. If they don't earn from more than opium, why should they come and join us? So whatever they do with us, we have to provide them with a better income and quality of life. Then we train them on higher and more intricate skill in agriculture on a job training basis. They became gardeners, cut flowers and orchid growers, and for those who could read and write, they can work with us at the tissue culture lab. For the best of the best gardeners, I encourage them to become entrepreneur, owning nurseries. So you don't have to come and be my staff. Encourage them and set them up as a social enterprise. Very small social entrepreneur, just like Yunus has been doing, so on. So I think similar things that we're doing together, but I'm doing it very holistically. So are you too, you know. But I think the 2 ladies, later on, we have to sit down and talk about it. Because we have a lot of synergy that we can put it together and make it better and better for all of us and the world. The second S is sufficiency. What do you mean by sufficiency? Here there's a clear increase in living standards that we can measure. People have steady income and are able to pay off some of or even all the debts. And I don't know about Taiwan and also Bangladesh. But here in Thailand, we have loan shark. And these people, if they are able to pay back to the loan shark, which costs them monthly, not 25 cents, 20% interest rate per month. We should kill all these people. We should. You see? So if these people that working with us are able to pay back the loan shark, happiness, you can feel the happiness. You see? So I think this is the most important thing that on the sufficiency side. They become self-reliant, start to have enough, and to know what happiness is. The third S is sustainability. Doi Tung now is in this stage where the people become fully independent, have savings, enough to develop immunity to external shocks, and can continue to develop themselves. And this is what I call true sustainability. The 3S's model not only provides options for the people to live at or near home, but lessen problems like migration into big cities, human trafficking, forced labor, and sex industry, even slum, by addressing them at this root cause.
จะเห็นได้ชัดจากทรัพยากรทางธรรมชาติที่มีอยู่ในปัจจุบันกับการขับเคลื่อนทางเศรษฐกิจนะครับนี่น่าจะทำให้เราฉุกคิดได้พอสมควรจากงานนี้ว่าการเจริญเติบโตทางเศรษฐกิจยังเป็นเป้าหมายหลักที่สำคัญที่สุดอยู่หรือไม่พักก่อนสักครู่เดียวครับช่วงหน้ากลับมาติดตามกับ Business Forum กันต่อครับ ลับมาอยู่กับงาน Sustainable Development Challenges in Asia กันต่อครับทั้งในประเทศไทยและต่างประเทศมีองค์กรที่ทำเพื่อสังคมขึ้นมาในลักษณะของ Social Enterprise จำนวนมากครับองค์กรเหล่านี้มีแนวคิดอะไรที่คล้ายกันแล้วอะไรที่น่าจะต่อยอดสารพลังไปสู่การพัฒนาที่ยั่งยืนได้ติดตามชมรายละเอียดจากงานนี้ครับ
Kuncha, you said just now that this is the first time that the three of you have met here.
Yes.
And it's time to sit down to exchange ideas, to find similarities. Okay, what do you find common among the three countries that we hear today, especially from Bangladesh and from Taiwan?
One thing is in common is that we are helping people. All right? We're not thinking about ourselves. Yunus is not getting paid, so to speak, the interest rate. So it's they generate profit. But that profit doesn't go to Yunus at all. And whereas Suu Kyi also, put the money in there and build this, that, and help others. And Suu Kyi is a bit more to it, is that it's not their money. They get it from the people that Suu Kyi has to have the trust. The trust of the people, even though they started very, very small. But what they have done, they earn the respect of the Taiwanese. You see, so it actually is spreading out. So now it's coming to Thailand. Both organizations come to Thailand too. So what I see is that many things that I have to learn, I haven't actually gone through all this, but I have to learn more about these two organizations. And if these two organizations, we have something in common. We are helping the people not from thinking,
Yes.
but from the heart and soul. This is how I feel.
But so far you have not worked together.
Oh, I don't even know them. They don't know me either.
Well, this is a good chance.
Yeah.
That's why I told them that we better sit down and talk.
Lamia, what are the similarities? How can the three countries, the three foundations work together?
I think, there was a lot of commonality. It's all about bottom up from the people, not top down. All about building local communities, all about using your own resources, not depending on outside, defining your own goals and becoming sustainable and independent of outside. Grameen Bank has not taken any outside money since 1995. It is financing this huge financial activity.
So it's self-generating.
Self-generation. I think that's very key. And I think all of us
Doing the same thing.
Doing the same thing, and all of us are actually also signing up to the SDGs. I think we should actually congratulate the UN for putting this agenda, which is so accessible to everyone, to big organizations, but also to the individual. And these icons, which are very attractive, all of us put up those icons in our presentation. I noticed that. So that's very good that, there's a piece that each of us can play, each of our foundations, each of us individually, each of us as governments and companies. So that was also another similarity. And I think this is at the core of it. If enough people work on these principles and unleash, as I said, the creativity and the energies to do good, I don't think there's any problem that we can't overcome. And I think that's been our lesson, and I think it's very similar experiences for my colleagues here. So
Yeah, Monica?
Yeah, I guess we are quite similar in a lot of ways, we want to spread the seeds of love. So I think this great love is the most common thing for the three organizations and institutions. So let me use a PowerPoint presentation to share to everyone for this one.
I'll give you 5 minutes.
Yeah.
No more than 5 minutes.
It's actually very quick. Yeah, here.
Okay.
So there. So a lot of people actually we try to feed the people. So when we feed the hungry, then we save them for one day, right? And then teach a person how to farm, then you feed them for life. Yeah. But then what does Tzuti do is Tzuti gives the seeds and teaches them to be self-resilience. And I think this is the same for all of us. We all want to work towards the SDGs that we have, the UN has already put up. And all these things, the main common goal is to leave no one behind. And I think this is what the three organizations are doing. We try to, reach out to the people, to the vulnerable communities, and do not leave them behind because they are the vulnerable communities are oftentimes forgotten. And I think based on the presentations that we have done this morning, I think this is also one of the things that, put us together. So there, it's actually, a call for an action. And I think, this call for an action is the same for everyone, with one awakening, with one person who cares, and then with one choice, with one action, with one initiative, with one community, and with one mind, with one dream. So I think this is true for everyone. This is what we call, that is why right now, not only the three of us, even the other organizations are doing this. We want to call for an action. Yeah, because we believe that, grassroots change, actually, the grassroots change for global impact. We start from the basic. We go back to the basics. If today we don't have any cell phones, how are we going to survive? If today we don't have any internet, how are we going to survive?
No, we cannot.
Exactly. A lot of people say we cannot, but how do the people from before,
They can live.
Yeah, 100 centuries ago, or they can live and they survive. But right now, without a phone, it would already make us go crazy. But without a wallet, we can still survive, right?
But I noticed Monica was playing with a cell phone all the time.
No, I was trying to take down notes. Yeah, so I guess it is through this kind of interaction that we learn from each other, and then as what our two speakers said a while ago, there are a lot of things that we have to learn from each other. There are a lot of things that we can synergize, because it's actually through this kind of learning that we learn and we awaken ourselves to make this world a better place.
There will be people who say your stories are too good to be true. The topic of this panel discussion is challenges, right? The sustainable development challenges in Asia. Challenges is a polite way of saying problems, right? So what are some of the obstacles? What are some of the real problems that are affecting your goal towards total achievement? Is the government a problem for you? The bureaucracy?
You're talking to yourself.
I'm not supposed to be saying anything. I'm supposed to be just asking questions.
No, I put it this way. I think the whole world problem, we have to identify first. All right? But I come up to the conclusion, personally, has nothing to do with others. But I try to think why the world is like this. All right? So I came up with the 3 Gs. Gs, 3 Gs. The first one is greed.
Greed.
Yes. When you're born, you know nothing. You have no greed. But when you're growing up further and further, and all these guys, ladies and gentlemen sitting here, they're all greedy. All of them. Yes, all of them.
Except you.
Don't deny.
Except
no,
you.
I am too.
And the
so
second G?
Well, this leads on to growth. Right? Why on earth every company is sitting, a lot of them down here, they have to have the marketing, 20% of the marketing,
Growth,
10%
right.
the growth, so on. So growth really, what he said, UN said.
Yes.
What had happened, this growth, it deteriorated the planet. Without these companies, they don't have the responsibility.
So we shouldn't even talk about GDP growth anymore.
Why you talk about GDP? That's wrong too.
Yes.
Even the government, you have to have the growth.
Yes.
Why can't you sit still and, be happy with it? You see, so business, GDP, the government, all wrong. That's
So
growth.
greed, growth, and the third G?
Well, the third G, it leads to global imbalances. Look at the planet. Look at the, the climate change.
Yeah.
Look at everything. You see, so the global imbalances. That's why the world is going to come to the end. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yes.
การพัฒนาทางเศรษฐกิจต้องทำควบคู่ไปกับการดูแลสิ่งแวดล้อมและธรรมชาติรวมไปถึงชีวิตความเป็นอยู่ของผู้คนแหละครับนี่คือโจทย์ที่ท้าทายที่รัฐบาลทุกรัฐบาลต้องทำและทำให้ต่อเนื่องจนไปสู่จุดที่เรียกว่าความยั่งยืนนั่นเองครับติดตามงานสัมมนาดีๆได้ใหม่กับ Business Forum ในโอกาสถัดไปวันนี้สวัสดีครับ